How's it going, guys? Welcome to another tips video. My name is Kingpin and I'm going to go through mistakes that I see people make all the time at the start of the game. There's nothing more annoying in Warzone than getting sent to the gulag within a couple of minutes of landing. Watch the full video so you can get a stronger start every game. Before we get down to it, if you're looking to improve at Warzone, make sure you are subscribed because I'm going to be doing a lot of these Warzone tips and strategy videos to help you get those wins. Anyway, let's get straight into it and start with mistake number 1. Which is picking a bad spot to land. What makes an area a bad choice is the lack of contracts and buy stations. You want to make sure in the place you choose there are plenty of contracts so you can get a cash much quicker, and there needs to be at least one buy station. You don't want to be traveling miles in order to buy a loadout, because if you come across a squad when you've only got stock guns, there's little hope of you winning. Also, don't leave it too late when choosing where to land. I've seen far too many squads just wing it and choose randomly. Sometimes they can't even decide, so they just jump out near the end. You don't want to be that squad, you want to be a winner, so always choose early and choose wisely. I won't mention any specific spots to land because that is dependent on where the zone is for that game, but I would suggest staying away from downtown and superstore. Too many people go to superstore, so you can be overwhelmed easily. And downtown is horrendous to navigate. People can be camping on and inside buildings. It's really hard to spot people and almost impossible to push a squad if they're camping on top of a skyscraper. The next mistake you want to avoid is landing too far from your squad. Landing close to your teammates is vital for survival at the start, especially if people landed in your area. The more enemies there are, the closer you want to be to your squad. A good way to know if you landed too far from your team is if they engage someone and the fight is over before you can even get there. I'll give you an example on Boneyard. Landing in different sections of Boneyard is not a good idea. There's always enemies landing here, so instead land in the same area but different buildings. That way, if you hear a call out such as, "Oh, I think there's someone in my building," it won't take you a year to get there and provide support. The next mistake you need to be careful of is overlooting. Guys, don't be that loot goblin who's busy finding loot when his squad needs him. When you land, you don't need to get every chest there is. If you find a decent gun and some armor plates, you can focus on engaging squads in your area. Clear them out first before looting the rest. That way you won't get caught by surprise and shot in the back. I'm not saying rush in with a pistol, that's definitely not a good idea. However, you don't need to have the perfect weapons to attack. You have to remember they've just landed as well, so they might even have worse weapons than yours. If no one lands in your area, then it's safe to loot, but beware of squads coming towards you. They'll also be hungry for loot and doing contracts, so make sure you watch your surroundings. The next mistake is picking up bad contracts. Don't randomly pick up any contract that's close to you. Avoid most wanted and supply contracts because they're not really that useful at the start. Doing bounty, scavenger and recon would be more beneficial. I always try to go for a bounty contract first, as the chances of them being killed by another squad is quite high and you can get easy cash. Sometimes the bounty is in your area, so if you're going to engage them, you might as well pick up the bounty and earn some extra cash. Next, I would go for scavenger over recon. You want to avoid traveling far for your objective if you don't have your loadout. If you run into a squad that has their own guns, then you're likely to lose. Scavenger chests are usually placed in your area, so do them if there's no bounty contract. Scavengers also give you a good amount of money which you'll need to get your loadout as quick as possible. Now, recon I would only pick up when you do have your loadout, as you might get attacked while doing it. We don't normally do more than one recon because it gets a little bit boring doing loads of them, but it's nice to have an idea of where the next circle will be. If your focus is more on winning than getting kills, then you can do a little bit more recon contracts and find where the final circles will be and set up early. The next mistake I see is people not prioritizing the loadout. When you land, if no one's in your vicinity, focus on looting and get the cash for the loadout. If enemies do land, clear them out and try to get the loadout before you seek out another squad. The loadout should be your number one priority and won't take long to get if you follow my previous advice about landing near contracts and buy stations. Having your own perks and guns is vital for winning squad battles and avoiding early deaths. I always use Ghost and Cold Blooded so I don't pair on UAVs and heartbeats. It's not easy to beat someone who's hunting you down with a heartbeat. Flanking them is almost impossible, so get that loadout ASAP. It's a good idea to have one person on your squad using a heartbeat to hunt down enemies who haven't called theirs loadout in yet. Also, the first gun you get should be an AR. Don't go for a sniper or a shotgun, as they'll limit your range. You want to be ready for engagements at any range. You can go for an SMG if you're fighting up close, or if you're good at closing the range down using cover. Don't try to spray someone miles away with an SMG though, it's just a waste of ammo. While we're on the topic of buying from the buy station, the next mistake is taking too long to actually purchase something. At the start of the game, you'll be surrounded by enemies, so it'll be an easy kill for them if you just stood still accessing the station. Don't open the menu and start discussing with your teammates about what you should buy. You need to open and be out of the buy station in seconds. Also at the beginning, armor plates and loadouts should be your only concern if you're going for the win. So don't even access the buy station unless you're buying one of them. As we're discussing speed, you also need to learn how to drop ammo and plates quickly. I find myself asking for ammo or dropping some for teammates a lot at the start, so it's vital you learn to do it as fast as possible. The less time you spend dropping ammo or accessing the buy station, the more time you have to look around and spot enemies before they surprise you. If you ever watch high level players, they do everything fast. Even if they're looting, they'll be in and out of buildings in a matter of seconds because they know how important it is to focus on the enemy. The next mistake is moving away from the zone. The next zone is usually near the center of the circle, so that's the direction you should be going. Don't make it harder on yourself and go away from the circle. It'll save you a lot of travel time where you can get caught running in the open and get easily squad wiped. The only times that you should go away from the circle is if you're forced to back off by another squad. Then circling around might be a better strategy. Linking to that is our next mistake, which is being afraid of using vehicles. If you do get pushed back, use a vehicle if you've got a trophy system, but you can risk it without one, but the chances of being blown up are high, so get out as fast as you can. Vehicles are also really good in solos because they give you a wide view of the area so you can watch all around easily. And people tend to shoot vehicles as soon as they see one, so it's also good for spotting campers in houses. On many occasions we've driven a car into a compound just to see if someone's lurking in the buildings, and when they shoot we know exactly where they are. Do be smart with how you use them. Jump out earlier when you spot someone, or if they shoot you as you go past, drive behind cover, tell your squad to jump out while you keep driving and get out somewhere else. If you do it correctly, the enemy will still focus on you without noticing your teammates coming for the surprise attack. This is a very effective strategy that you should be using, so give it a go next time. It is important that you drop teammates off behind cover and unseen, otherwise they'll just get lit up by the enemy. The next mistake I see people make is they're not using field upgrades. If you find a field upgrade early on, make sure you actually use it. Don't die with it waiting for the right time. I've spectated games where someone fights Dead Silence but doesn't use it for the whole game because he's waiting for the right time to use it. Field upgrades like Dead Silence, Recon Drone and Ammo Box are much more useful at the start of the game. Especially make use of the Recon Drone, don't just leave it lying around. It's like a manual UAV, you can spot how many people landed in your area and what direction they're in. Don't use the spot tool on it, instead ping their locations so the enemy doesn't know they've been spotted. Don't spend too long flying it though, fly up and ping enemies then get straight out so no one wanders around and kills you. The only two I would keep for later on are the trophy system and armor box. The trophy system is more useful on vehicles, so save it just in case you need to get into one, and the armor box comes in handy near the end game where all the buy stations might be out of the zone and your squad needs plates, so keeping a hold of it might actually be better unless your squad is completely out of armor at the start. Now we move on to our final mistake for today, which is not backing down. Later on in the game, retreat might not be an option, but you can at the start, especially when you just land. If your area is crawling with players and you get a late landing, back off and go to another area. Don't try to fight with a pistol. You need a good gun and full armor to have even a chance of beating someone. Choosing not to challenge every squad at the start can save you from death. It's no fun getting beaten by squads with better guns and going to the lobby within a couple of minutes of landing. So instead, be the smarter player. Don't actively find squads to engage if you don't have good guns. Wait for your squad to find armor plates and decent weapons so that you'll have a much higher chance of winning. I'm not saying run away to the other side of the map, just back off a little bit if you see a squad. Go to the building or area behind. Once your squad has got good guns and some spare plates, then you can go and engage. That's all our mistakes for this video guys. I'll leave a comment below about what mistakes you might make that I've not mentioned so we can help other people out. But thanks so much for watching, hit that like button if you found this video helpful, and don't forget to subscribe as I'll be doing a lot more of these tips videos so you guys can get those wins consistently. I'll see you next time.